Yes, man. Get a gun, but not forgotten. Those of us who know that name, that's the man right there. The late Errol Ghatta Thompson had a premonition of his death 5 days before it happened in June 2000. Yes, that's over 22 years ago. As a former member of the Jamaican Constabulary Force, I salute those who have paid the ultimate price in service to a country that should never earn that kind of sacrifice and does not deserve it. That's the island called Jamaica, where I was born and raised. Yes, Jamaica don't deserve the sacrifice of these young men. Yes, man. I had spent over 18 years of my life in the JCF, in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as a police cadet and as a detective constable. Yes, 18 years as a detective constable. Yes, I have no friends in high places. I wasn't a thief and I wasn't a news carrier. I wasn't a robber or anything like that. So, you understand what I'm saying? I've seen people, who commit robbery, rob coke and them thing, and then return the coke and money, and then shortly after that, I see them get caught. I have never been in those situations, but that's how it is. You understand what I'm saying? So, as I've said, to each his own. I was raised a certain way by my parents and grandparents, so I have no problem solving crime. You understand? I do believe in preemptive strike, though. You understand what I'm saying? Criminals must live in fear for their lives. One thing that I'm happy about is that the good Lord protected me when I served in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the ungrateful people of Jamaica and the and a corrupt system of criminal legislator whose priorities were and still is to protect the criminals and labeling murderers and labeling murderers as celebrity, treat them with respect. As you can see, how they have treated Rasheen Barney, the man that killed the five people, in Clarendon. You can see, that's the only time the government show you any form of attention. You understand? They don't respect law-abiding people, but criminals, they have all the rights in the world. So that's why Jamaica has been the epicenter in the Caribbean for producing criminals. And people are wondering why. Yes, it's because of our government. You don't see no other country in the world where, people attacking the police when the police doing their job, only in Jamaica. So that shows you that something is wrong. Um, I'm not here to really talk about the people. I'm here to talk about, why my late friend, Errol Ghatta Thompson, gone but not forgotten. You understand? He had paid the ultimate price by, with his life for a system that is so corrupt, you understand, with all of the criminals legislator. The PMP LGBTQ plus party, which was the government for most of my service in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And I would say that the PMP LGBTQ plus party is not a political party, it's a criminal organization. You understand? And I'll explain to you why I say that. If you cannot be truthful to yourself or truthful to others, that means you're living a life of lies. And a lot of people are like that. They're afraid to offend others because they don't want to create enemy and they don't want to bruise people's ego as if they're lacking friendship or anything like that. As for me, I am going to tell you as it is. So whether you like me or not, that is too bad for you because when I go to my bed, I sleep. You understand? As I said before, I have no problem with getting rid of the terrorists and with preemptive strike. None whatsoever. I don't believe in police to rob people and all those things. I don't believe in police to extort people. I don't believe in police supposed to behave like criminals. You understand? I had assassin and all those kind of things. So, sorry for the, half tangent. That wasn't something that planned. You understand? But, Jamaica, the Jamaican government is behaving like it's a first world country when our criminals are terrorists by nature. The PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization was the government for most of my service in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The best time I served in the Jamaica Constabulary Force was in 1987 to February 1989, when the Jamaican people used to treat the police officers with utmost and maximum respect. Yes, that they deserve after the most corrupt political party, which is more criminal organization, start to dismantle the country's law, thus make it easier for the Jamaican terrorists to terrorize the people. I have lots of close friends who have lost their lives on duty and others who have passed away from natural causes. So this is to show the families of these police officers that the Jamaican Young Police Channel salute these police officers and the families. Sacrifice is not forgotten by yours truly, Detective Porter. Yes, I haven't forgot. Welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel, where an experienced and certified detective of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is about to educate you with facts and not propaganda or hyperbole for the government and its minions. You understand? I am not here to support criminals or their supporters. I do believe criminals must live in fear for their lives, not the law abiding citizens. I do believe in preemptive strike as practiced by the American military that I have proudly served with honor, courage, and commitment. The law abiding citizens and their families must live in peace and tranquility, free from fear, coercion, or terroristic threats from the marauding terrorists. The only people that's supposed to have rights in any country are the law abiding citizens. Criminals, terrorists must not have any rights. Once you violate other people's rights, then you have given up all rights to live. That's my philosophy. You understand? Because some people can be reformed and some people cannot reform. You just cannot change. You just cannot change them. They are just destined for death. They are just destined for extinction. You cannot save them. The killing of civilians by these terrorists must be condemned by every well-thinking Jamaicans, and those who are lawmakers should not be cuddling, supporting, and talking about criminals' rights. What about the rights of the victims? Yes, what about the rights of the victims? These people are losing their lives. What happened to their lives? Step must be taken so the killer or killers are treated in the same way as their victims. As their victims. The treatment must be reciprocal to show that the state is willing to protect the citizens at all costs and that the killers must live in fear for their lives because life is precious. If the killer respect their lives, they will do the same for their victims by thinking twice before killing them, as the state will respond with tenfold of fire. Yes, no playing around here with criminals. However, as the haters and the frauds and the charlatans pontificate and make career denouncing police, brave officers take to the jungle we call the streets to ensure they are in safely in their beds at nights. The despicable cynics and police hating criminal supporters in the Jamaican for Justice organization have nothing to add to this solemn occasion of dedicating this video to the late Constable Errol Ghatta Thompson. So, again, I call on Jamaicans to look at who is on your side. It is the police officers patrolling at nights why you can sleep in your bed. I was lucky not to be shot in the line of duty or any other time because of the Lord's protection during the years of service in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And other police officers have been shot and seriously injured in my presence. Thank God that not a single police officer was killed in my presence. Unfortunately, the late Detective Constable Kirk Palmer is the one who has gotten gunshots to his chest, 5 bullet wounds to the left side of his chest, and one of the bullet missed his heart by a fraction of a centimeter. While these charlatans, while these charlatans and cowards who hide behind criminals and make spurious and disparaging comments after offer aid and comfort to terrorists. You understand? The police officers' action make the Jamaican people safe. It's their primary job to serve, protect, and reassure. The frauds like Dr. Caroline Gomes and the likes and the other charlatans have gotten filthy rich from bloodletting in Jamaica. And Dr. Caroline Gomes is smiling all the way to the bank, getting donations from various people who want to see the destruction of Jamaica so that it can be theirs. The people who are responsible for black people suffering in the world has done everything in their power to make sure that black people continue to be at the bottom of the food chain and the educational and the same black people can't go to Europe and North America and tell these people how to treat their criminals. Still, they are hell bent on destroying the black people. You understand? By by getting the best and brightest to their workforce and draining the black and brown countries of their best minds. Let me educate you and straighten this narrative about the late Constable Errol Ghatta Thompson, who was killed on a Wednesday morning by gunmen at Brownsdown, Kingston 13, and he died in the hands of Detective Corporal Evan Blake. The last Friday night of the late Detective Constable Errol Ghatta Thompson's life can only be nothing but a premonition of his death and his last request. Those who have been putting themselves on the scene are unconscionable liars. And maybe they have heard the stories so many times that they have injected themselves into the happenings by placing themselves there. Police officers are good at lying to themselves and lie about others, and I don't know how they do it, but they do it anyhow with no shame. You understand? So police officers have been lying for the past 22 years about um, the death of Constable Errol Ghatta Thompson, and they weren't there. Ghatta, his life, why it was a premonition of what he believed. The man, I'm telling you, man, on that fateful night, you know, and I don't know how why he utters the word. You understand? On the fateful night, when Ghatta had made his request, I, Detective Corporal Horace Lattiebeaudiere, and the late Constable Ghatta Thompson went to the Maddens Funeral Home and conducted business that Friday night. While we were there, and Lattiebeaudiere was giving one of the undertakers the relevant information, Errol Ghatta Thompson came over to where I was standing, hugged me, used his right hand to point in the direction of an unusual. You know what? I have to stop it right there because most Jamaican people, no disrespect, most Jamaican people they cannot, they don't have the zeal and the fortitude to listen videos that's too long, so you have to make it short for them. You understand? So this is part one of the late Errol Ghatta Thompson um, video. So stay tuned. Part two will be coming next, and I'll tell you what happened. You understand? This is the second police officer from Hunts Bay who was very close to me. You understand? And I'll let you know what happened. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, that's it. This is the time to subscribe. You understand? And most of all, comment below. You understand? Click on the bell, and the bell will serve you well. And whenever our video is dropped, you'll be first. You'll be the first one to get it. Most of all, stay tuned. One love from the Jamaica Young Police channel.